So challenge locks. There's a couple good ways just to initially get into someone's head on a challenge lock. One is like tensioning. You mess with the core, so you can't get that tension wrench in there, and it can throw off your picking game. Another way to do it is just to be Albert Lebel. So this is kind of a revisit. I'm not even sure which Albert Lebel this is. I've got a few in the drawer that I've been sitting on and haven't really gotten a good pick on. So this might be a revisit. I just grabbed this one out, and we will see what we get here off of it. I'm going to try to switch up how I know I've done it in the past and see if that makes a difference. So I'm going to go in with an offset hybrid pick and bottom of the keyway tensioning. Normally I top a keyway in Tron. Pick a lot of his stuff, or try to. But been on a good streak by just breaking up old habits. And so we'll see what we can get here. And nothing's, a couple clicks, but nothing's really what I'd call binding. Oh gosh, okay. There we go. Let's start a little bit more in the back. Okay, just nudging along. Just little serrations. It feels like we're kind of nudging our way through. Well, that was interesting feedback. Yeah, some of these Lebel locks, man. You get them, a little black bag, and you open it and you find one of these in there, and you're just like, oh, I know this one's gonna be a butt kicker. And I'm pretty sure I've got a video on this one in the past where it's foiled me. I'm trying to clean out the back of the drawer, basically, and get a lot of these locks back out and circulating. Some of them, I apologize, they've just been in my possession way too long. Don't really keep what I call a naughty bucket, but let's try to reset. Let's reposition that and get a little better tension on there. Yeah, I don't really keep what I call a naughty bucket, but I do end up sometimes with just locks in the back of the drawer. And I get to cleaning and I discover, man, these have just been here way, way too long. And I think, when you make challenge locks, you like to see them out there. You like to see them circulating. That's another reason I try to even just upload failures. Just lets people know, hey, I've got the lock. It's out there. I may have just overset one, but drop back down. I've just overset it again. That was a hint of something good. Oh, there we go. That was not what I would call definite core movement, but a definite movement for this, what we've had so far on this lock, where we've just been kind of nudging through little serrations. one? No, one is definitely good. The lock feels like it's kind of gone dead. Everything seems bound or set. Lighten up tension a little bit. I'm going to look for anything that might be feedback. Oh! We're open. I wonder how long I sat there on an open, and maybe I just needed to put a little bit. I mean, I had really, really loose tension on it. Awesome. Let's see what we picked. Let's take a look at that. I feel like for a minute though, it must have been sitting there, just hovering on that open for a moment. Batshit Crazy is the one we just picked. And there's our bidding. Yeah, because it's like I lightened the tension. Then as soon as I tightened it back up again, we found ourselves a little turnover. You know what? We've got the key, so we'll just relock it. That was funny. It must, yeah. I wonder how long it sat there like that. It's probably right about the time I said I'm lightening tension, right? I didn't really feel like I said anything. I've moved a couple pins, sort of, but it was more just what it felt like. You know, it more felt like I was just probing them than I was actually moving them. Tell you, this time off, I feel like I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I feel like I'm back in good picking form. Oh, interesting. One, or 6, I mean, much higher lift than what it kind of felt like. Did not need much of a picking at all. Oh, well, don't overset 3. Man, a couple, yeah, these 2 and 3, man, if you overset them, you'd be clicking along through serrations for a while. And we do have a modification on chamber 4 and threading on 2 and 3. Okay, let me not do this backwards like I did yesterday or last night. I don't know why I did that. God, oh, jeez. First pin you pull out standard. So like, I don't know what it is. You know, when a lock is kind of giving you some issues in the past, and then you pull out the first pin, first driver, and it's a freaking standard, it kind of makes you wonder what was wrong with you. Oh, that was a pin and pin. I just kind of flubbed it coming out. That's a surprise, though. I did not feel like there was a pin and pin in there. These look like all coppery springs. That was the, yeah, I see what made that ending. Pin 4 is a little bit stuck. No, wait. What is going on in there? Is there a... Oh, there is something. Oh, a little wafer. In that came out of 4. Okay, I may have to figure out how 4 went together, because it was using a wafer, which means the pin and pin was probably not aligned the way it is arranged here. But yeah, let's get the camera flipped around. You know what? We'll turn the light on and get the camera flipped around. Take a look at these pins. Okay, look at our core first. Said threading on 2 and 3. And you can see we've got, it's kind of undercut a little bit there on 4. And then pin-wise, I'll just pull this one up as an example. I mean, we've got a little bit of a spool there on 1, you can see. Look at those serrations. God, dude, those, you know, these are like those ones AJ cut. They're just so uniform. Just incredibly uniform. And you know, you get that overset because look what you've been clicking through, right? So this is the driver for 2. You're just going to keep clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking. And if you get overset, you're just going to keep clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking. It's just going to feel normal, isn't it? It's the same with 3. I mean, it is just one big long nudging through that. But then, yeah, we just got standards in 4, 5, and 6. Yeah. And so I'm pretty sure this is where that last nudge was, where I was just probing, and it was probably just sitting on the very tip of that one. It could possibly have been this one. And just some action in there kind of gave it the last little bit it needed to jog up. Now 4, we do have a pin and pin. And it had this little wafer above it to protect it from the spring. So that makes me wonder, it was, oh gosh. Because I did flub pulling it out a little bit. I think probably it was in like that is what I'm going to go with. Because that would potentially need a wafer. To help it not wedge into that spring. So I'm guessing it was that way. This is our shear line. I'm guessing it was that way in there. Then you had the wafer and then the spring. And because, you know, it's sitting above the shear line, it's fine to put a wafer in there. You're not really creating a second place for it or anything like that. It's not really going to come into play. It's just going to protect that spring. That is a crazy little pin and pin though, dude. It does sort of feel like it needs to be the other way around though, doesn't it? And then it could just hang up a little bit on that tip. I'll have to go out online and look. I don't know if I'm the first to have this lock or not. So maybe somebody else has a video of it. But there we go. That shit crazy. By Albert Lebel, a lock that ended up in the back of my drawer because it just kind of stumped me at the time, and I'm pretty sure I've got a video previously on picking or trying to pick this one and failing. But again, like, you know, I tell you, I feel like recently, besides being able to get a lot of practice in, I've just gotten back into the habit of switching and going, you know what, stop doing something that's not working. So, and it's paying off, right? So, I mean, because that's what we picked it with right there. And I can tell you, you know, most of the time, my go-to is something more like that. But yeah, taking my advice, switching some things up. giving new things a try, because it doesn't really matter if we don't get it open. It only matters if we figure out something along the way of trying to do it. So anyway, everybody, hope you enjoyed. A few things in the pipeline maybe we'll try to get out. In the meantime, have a good one.